Hey everybody, Jeff Williams here with AskJeffWilliams.com. Alright, what are we doing today, sonny boy? Well, I figured we got time. I might as well give you a tour of the drift mine. I don't think I've ever really done that. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you what we've done and some of the history behind it. I figured that would be something nice to see. What do you think about that, boy? Huh? Ooh, you better like that. So you know what I'm going to say, huh? Ooh, you better. So come on, let's go! This is the bottom of our shaft here. There's our rails, which is conduit pipe. Gotta have conduit pipe for your rails. It's real cheap, easy to use. You just use skateboard wheels on it. There's our tugger right there that we use to haul it up and down. Yeah. Then we tug that haulage cart up and down this haulage drift here. Then we put the buckets on this skip and then ring the bell and then up it goes. All right, this is slim pickings, as you can tell. This is our main haulage drift right here. And then we have a haulage cart that runs up and down here. Our tracks are laid in at about a 10% grade, so the cart wants to naturally go downhill. It's a lot easier when you're releasing the cart on this tugger here, so it naturally wants to go all the way down so we can pick up the muck or the good material. There's our little workstation right here. Put all of our stuff on. And then of course, this is how we ring the bell. There's Lucky, our spider. Here's our pegboard. I'm going in the mine. So I'm in. These are the guys who are out right now. It's very important. That way they know who's in here. 4-inch ventilation pipe. Alright. Our track is conduit, like I said. Conduit pipe. It's cheap. It's easy to use. And it holds up pretty well with the cart riding on it. It doesn't really bend or have deflection problems. See, we use a tremendous amount of timber down here. Keep these soft clay walls back. Nothing but sediment, clay, some caliche beds, gravel zones. It's pretty soft. And you can see it's solid. Alright, now, right about here, you can see where we're tunneling this direction. And it wasn't looking too good. So we decided to back up. And then we cut this incline in right here. And we started seeing traces of gold as we got deeper. Here's our tugger that we use to pull up our skip car. It rides on these tracks right here. We haven't shored it up because it seems to be holding pretty well, but eventually we're going to put timber in. You can see some of this stuff right here. Pretty soft. You can see what temperature it is down here. It stays that way year round. It's about close to 70, 65, 70. Feels pretty good, a little humid. Alright, this is our panning station right here. This is where we pan out everything to see where we're at, see if we're going in the right direction, if we're on the gold or not. Eventually we'll open this up into a larger room and put a cot in there and probably a honey bucket, because I got to have a honey bucket. Here's where we started finding some good traces of gold. Right in through here. Not a lot, but some. Some nuggets. Probably go back through a metal detector. You can see it changes. It's sitting on top of this false bedrock. So we continue to sink an incline in further and further until we got down to this point, and it was like solid rock. So we knew that there's nothing going to be beyond this. That's why we only went this far down. And then we drifted over here to the right. You can see that we're underneath this huge thick caliche bed right here. Started finding more gold and more gold. And then we started finding a lot of gold when we went to the left. So we started following to the left on the seam. That's when we found that cave system. This is our slusher that we put in. That way it slushes all the material up from the bottom where the cave is, up on top of this ore bin. See that? So you have a control here and a control there to operate it forward and backwards. And then you have these two handles here. This one and this one that open up the bottom of these gates that dumps it into the buckets. That's sitting on top of this skip. And it pulls it up to the top. Alright, you should know this area. There's the cave system. We had to start shoring this part up because we opened up a large pocket here when we were finding gold here. So we had to shore this up. We're gonna have to put some more in, keep the back up. You can see where we got holes drilled getting ready to put in our Sierra blaster. We got to remove that out of the way so we can get down and go straight in to the cave system, because right now you have to lay on your belly and it really pushes your back upwards, backwards. And it's kind of spooky because you can get stuck in there. So we're gonna pull all this out. That way it's a lot easier just to get down on your knees and then go forward into the cave. And maybe open the bottom of it up right down in there. And of course this is the glory hole here. And there's the pocket. We found gold all through here. Then we got to that back wall and then it stopped because the caliche dipped down at a 45-degree angle. You can see where it dips right here too at about maybe a 10-degree angle. Then the gold started getting really rich right around that corner there. And that's when we hit that pocket. It's caliche on top with pockets of sand. It's a really interesting mix. And then there's soft red clay next to it. And then the cave systems are underneath. And you can see remnants of the cave right there. There's another one right over there. Now we might be sitting on a cave as I speak. It could be a big chasm underneath us. And I can hear running water. So I know there's something down there. So I don't know if we're in one of the little finger channels that comes up off the top of it. And you can see evidence of river rock. Look at this. I've got this round river rock everywhere down here. There's one here. There's one right there locked into the wall. They're all over the place. Now a lot of people ask me all the time, Jeff, how deep are you? Well, right about where we're at is 40 vertical feet down. And I don't want to go much deeper because I said that caliche zone that's like solid rock is underneath it. Now I don't know what's underneath that. Maybe we'll punch through it and there'll be more layers below it and more gold below it. But right now I punched down about 2 feet and it's solid, just like rock. You have to literally blast it to get it out. Clean up down here, it's a mess. There's our track. All right, we'll be putting in lighting today too. I gotta put in another 50 feet of lighting. Whew, you go through a lot of lighting down here. All right, here's our haulage cart is here. And then our skip rides on top of it. The skip rides down the tracks that we just came up on, and then this rides up and down on this conduit pipe. And of course the skateboard wheels swivel back and forth so it can go around corners. Now on your ladders, make sure if you make these ladders that you put these pieces of wood in between or you notch them. You see that? Now in the old days, the old timers would notch these 2x4s to put these rungs in on for these ladders. But these aren't real 2x4s, are they? They don't make them like they used to. This is a 3 1/4 by 1 3/4. I don't know what the heck it is. But it ain't no 2x4, I can tell you that right now. But in the old days, they would notch it right here and put the rung in. See that? Well, we have to put pieces of wood in there. And the reason why you do that is for shear strength. You have a lot of weight coming down on this. If you just have nails or screws, they'll eventually pull out or break the heads or split this wood. But if you got notches in there, it's not going to go nowhere, or these pieces of wood. It's going to put all that weight on here and the next one, all the way down. It's 10 times stronger this way. So that's why you make your ladders that way. You just don't put pieces of wood nailed on another piece of wood. All right, so we got a transfer point right here. So all of our muck coming in off of that cart comes here. You got 4 holes, 4 buckets. It dumps it in. That's your transfer point. Then you take it down the haulage drift and then haul it up the skip to the surface. All right. Now we decided to put the electric winch on the bottom of the cart instead of at the very back because most of the time I'm down here by myself. I don't have the luxury of coming all the way back up here and then operating the winch to get this skip car up. So we decided to put the winch on the bottom of the skip car and then put the controls on the skip car. And then when I fill it up, I can just hop on the skip car and ride it up the incline. That seemed a lot easier than just put a retractable electrical cable to wheels out power. Now when we cut this drift, the initial cut was at about an 8 to 10 degree dip. Then we got about right over there and we started dipping down at about 30 degrees. By doing that, this skip car will naturally want to flow downhill. So you can hop on it and then hit the reverse on that winch, and it'll naturally want to just go back down all by itself. And then you fill it up, and then you ride it all the way back up to the top. Now, here you can see where we hit some really soft, nasty ground. So we started shoring it up, and eventually we'll shore the rest of this up, but this right here seems to be holding pretty well. So we decided to timber up, and we're gonna have to timber all the way down. And you can see where we've got all these sets bolted together. These are called sets. There's the cap, there's the spreader, there's the post, and that's the lagging right there. And that's a spider web. Generally, you don't have to bolt your sets together. Usually you'll wedge them together, and you'll put wedges back behind here, behind the cap. Blocks and wedges to hold everything tight. And then you backfill behind your lagging. It's real simple. Well, the problem is we're going down at a 30% grade. So you have all these sets setting forward. They're gonna wanna fall forward. And if there's any ground movement, that's what's gonna happen. And just like most of your inclines, you have hanging bolts. Well, we don't use hanging bolts, we use all thread. And so we just simply bolt them all together. That way each set is bolted to the last one. So to keep your set stable, you have collar braces, and it's this timber right here. Now it can be a 2x6, when we're using a 4x4 right now, and it's holding this set and this set apart, and it's stabilizing it. Well, like I said, we're going down at a 30-degree dip, or angle, and so we have this all thread bolting this set together with this set. It's real simple. And then this set's bolted to the first set. And then you backfill behind your lagging, and everything is held in with pressure. And there's the working face right there. And then there's a red layer of clay right there where we're starting to get back into the gold. And I know the gold, the good gold, is not far away. Maybe another 20 feet. And then maybe we'll open up another chamber down there so we can pull material out, or have a cot or something for me to sleep on. Because that's a long ways to go just to get up to the surface. Now, instead of using air doors down here like you see in other mines, we got a valve on this thing where the T-junction is back there in the haulage drift. And all we do is we turn the valve and it redirects the air wherever I want it. If I want it to come out here, or if I want it to come out in the glory hole. Sometimes I'll open the valve up so both are getting air so I can flush it out if we haven't been down here for a while. But if I'm going to be in one section mostly, I'll turn that valve to redirect most of the air that way. Now, every time you put in the set and some lagging, you backfill behind the lagging. Now, the lagging on the back, you have to backfill too. What we use is any scrap wood that we have. What we'll do is we'll throw it up on top, like that, and we'll try to block that up. Now, I still need to block that up some more. You can see there's a space there, and there's a space there. That way, there's no room between the back here and my lagging. There shouldn't be any space here whatsoever. Something they don't talk about a lot in the mines are these guys right here. It's called a miner's wedge. And we use these all the time. Especially if you're in a hard rock mine, you're gonna use hundreds of these things. And what you do is you basically use it to wedge the timbers into place, or you'll block your caps, and then you'll use your miner's wedges to wedge everything together tight. And also you use them as indicators. You'll put it up into the fractures or the joints in the rocks, and you'll use them to hold the rocks in place. And every now and then you'll check to see if they're loose. If they're loose, that means the ground's moving and you need to do something about it. So they make also good indicators. All right, so the biggest question I get asked is, Jeff, what made you want to dig there? That's the biggest one I think I get asked. Research. I did years of research before I decided to dig one shovel load of dirt. You got to do your research. Not only book research, but you got to get out in the field. You got to understand the history of the area. You got to understand the geology of the area. Things of this nature. You got to do tons of sampling. I spent a year and a half sampling before I was confident that I could start digging and find something worth of value. Everybody said I was crazy, but they're not saying I'm crazy now, are they? Well, maybe just a little. All right, well, I'm gonna get on out of here because I got a lot of work to do down here. And I know, you're thinking, Jeff, I thought you said the worm people attacked you. Yeah, I know, right? But what's today, sonny boy, huh? What is today? Ooh, I think it's April 1st, which is April Fool's, boy. Don't be a fool, son. Oh, they'll be down there soon enough, don't you worry. Oh, I know they're just waiting for me to get on down in there. So until next time, this is Jeff Williams, and who the worm people, that's who. Saying, you like a good joke? Well, we do too. We like telling them all the time when we're mining AU. Take care, everybody.